The committee meeting on local government elections is now in session. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Gannon.
Aye.
Senator Crawford. Senator Carter. Senator Coleman. Senator Koenig. Senator Rizzo. Senator Washington.
We have a quorum. We will be hearing Representative Banderman, House Bill 2084. Representative, if you are ready, you may proceed.
Madam Chair, Senator Gannon, Senator Carter, Senator Koenig, and Senator Rizzo, thank you for the opportunity to present House Bill 2084 today. This bill seeks to give some flexibility to the consolidated library districts of the state of Missouri in their fiscal year. Currently, under state statute number 182.645, they are required to start their calendar fiscal year on July the 1st and end it on June the 30th. This bill simply allows flexibility within the trustees of those consolidated library districts to set a different date if they choose. If they choose not to, it simply reverts back to the state statute, July the 1st through June 30th. The Consolidated Library District where I live, the Scenic Regional Library, Steve Campbell is the director. He's the one that approached me about this idea, and I was brought on board because it was posed to me as a way to save money for the library. They get their money, tax money in January. They have to hold a good portion of that in escrow until the middle of the year. This would allow them to pay down their bonds, potentially saving them some of the money on the interest. As simple as it sounds, I'm sure often you hear that. This is a very simple bill, only 2 lines of adjustment, simply gives flexibility to those Board of Trustees to set their own fiscal year. I open myself up to any questions that the senators would have at this time.
Seeing none, we will start with first with witnesses in support. First witness in support, come forward, please. Seeing none, any witnesses in opposition, please come forward. Any witnesses for informational purposes only? Representative, do you have any final words?
I knew today I wouldn't have anybody here. The lobby group for the Consolidated Library Districts is testifying somewhere else today, but I brought this bill through twice in the House. It has never received a no vote, whether in committee or on the floor, and I'd appreciate the senators' consideration of my bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have a quorum. We're going to move into executive session now. Do I have a second? A voice vote, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? I move that we take up House Committee substitute for House Bill, hang on, okay, let's see. Okay, I move that we take up House Joint Resolution 68. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. This is the bill we heard from Representative Stacy relating to the Jackson County assessor. Is there any discussion on the bill? I move that we vote House Joint Resolution 68 out of committee do pass. Do I have a second? Second. Is there any discussion? Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Gannon.
Aye.
Senator Crawford. Senator Carter. Aye. Senator Coleman. Senator Koenig. Aye. Senator Rizzo. No. Senator Washington.
By your vote of 3 ayes and 1 no, House Joint Resolution 68 is due pass. Okay. Okay, where are we? I'm back here, right? Okay. Now I move that we go out of executive session. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Okay. We will now be hearing Representative Kelley's House Bill 1564. And Representative, if you are ready, you may proceed.
Good afternoon, committee and committee members. For the record, I'm Ann Kelley, District 127. So House Committee Substitute House Bill 1564 is allowing Lamar Heights to go to their voters to add emergency services and public safety to the current statute. Currently, money collected from transient and sales tax goes to a fund that can only be used for new construction, maintenance, and operation of capital improvements. This bill allows those funds collected to also be used for emergency services and public safety. By doing this, it will allow Lamar Heights to partner with jurisdictions that will benefit Lamar Heights residents and businesses in regards to fire, police, and 911 dispatch. Similar bills have been packaged in the committee substitute. House Bill 2687, which is from District 102, West District. House Bill 2590, Faulkner, District 10. House Bill 1436, Galax District, District 62. House Bill 1689, Reedy's District 57. House Bill 2496, District 65, which is Hosman's District. House Bill 2246, District 149, Brown. House Bill 2290 is District 5 from Riggs. House Bill 1985, District 53 from Thompson. House Bill 1984 from District 53 from Thompson again. House Bill 1439, District 62, Gallic. House Bill 2695 from District 63, Burns. House Bill 2731, District 125 from Deal. And House Bill 2784 from District 145, Francis. So every single one of these provisions is dealing with giving voter approval for a transit or sales tax. And this is the package that sits before you. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Are there any questions for the bill handler? Senator Carter.
Representative, thank you so much for bringing this forward. We actually have another issue in the senatorial district. I'm wondering if we might be able to talk offline about maybe extending that.
Absolutely.
I would
think
appreciate
this
that.
is the only active vehicle that we have in
Yes.
both chambers. So I'm feeling there's going to be more provisions coming that we need to put into the House.
Are these
to the
mostly
Senate
rural
substitute.
areas that you're?
Beg your pardon?
Are these mostly rural areas that you're?
You know, I could not answer that. I know some of this, we have Knob Noster, Cottleville, Hannibal, Moberly, Richmond, Harrisonville has one, Wentzville has one, so those are not.
Right.
Bates County, St. Genevieve. So I don't know if they're all rural, but I know mine is definitely rural.
Right. Well, we've got another issue, like I said. So I'll talk offline with you.
All right.
But I appreciate your work on this.
Absolutely, thank you.
Any other questions from the committee? Seeing none, we will begin with those in support. First witness in support.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Jason Zamkus. I'm a registered lobbyist appearing before you on behalf of both the City of Moberly as well as the City of Hannibal. We would like to thank the sponsors' hard work on this issue, and obviously we want to go on record in support for the sheer reason that it includes provisions that would allow the citizens of both Moberly and Hannibal to vote on a proposal that would allow for the imposition of a sales tax to fund public safety needs within their respective cities. With that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Any questions from the committee? Seeing none, next witness in support.
Morning, Madam Chairman. Tony Duggar, registered lobbyist for the City of Joplin. We want to go on record in support of this bill. It does contain a Section 4 Joplin authorizing them for a public safety tax.
Thank you. Any questions for the witness? Seeing,
Just a comment.
okay.
That would
Senator,
explain a lot. Thank you so much.
next witness in support of House Bill 1564.
Good afternoon. My name is Kit Brewer. I represent the Missouri Association of Sheltered Workshop Managers, as well as Project CU. Project CU is a sheltered workshop in St. Louis City. I am here in support of the bill, but more particularly, I am here to support the language regarding the county developmental disability districts, commonly known as SB 40 boards. Would just like to say that the intent of this language is to clarify the original purpose of the Senate Bill 40 funding. There are currently 85 counties in the state of Missouri that have Senate Bill 40 boards. The original language was to support sheltered employment and ancillary services for individuals with disabilities. And coincidentally, there are 86 members of extended employment across the state, serving more than 5,000 individuals. We receive a good deal of funding from these 40 boards across the state, and in most cases have wonderful long-term relationships with these Senate Bill 40 boards. But the purpose of our legislation being added here is that we're seeing more and more increased scrutiny on the funding. Certain 40 boards have taken to causing additional certification processes or even limiting individuals who are eligible to be funded by these boards. And we find that to be certainly counter to the original proposition that these bills were passed in across the state. This bill does not prohibit Senate Bill 40 boards locally from requiring any outcomes, certainly gives them still the prerogative to have decisions upon where those monies are funded and what types of projects they are funded. And quite frankly, we support the Senate Bill 40 boards because any individual that I am serving in a sheltered employment center is also utilizing a vast number of other services that are also funded by these boards. So, thank you.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, next in support.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Alex Tuttle. I'm a registered lobbyist for Bates County Memorial Hospital. On behalf of them, we want to go on record in support of the bill. We are a rural hospital who does not currently have a supporting tax. We also offer ambulance services for the area without also a supporting tax. So allowing the voters to vote on a tax that would offer some continuing operating money would be very supportive. So thank you.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you. Next in support. Okay, we will go with those opposed. First witness opposing the bill.
Good afternoon. I am Becky Hirschbach, Executive Director of the Productive Living Board for St. Louis County Citizens with Developmental Disabilities, or PLB. I am here today on behalf of the PLB and the Missouri Association of County Developmental Disabilities Services to testify in opposition to the section in House Bill 1564 that refers to 205.971 regarding tax levy approval and use for services for people with developmental disabilities. When Missouri voters approved legislation in 1969 that set aside property taxes for services for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, there were very few services available for people who had disabilities and had finished school. Sheltered employment, however, was available and has been a steadfast option for individuals and their families for over 55 years. PLB provides funding for vital supports to nearly 4,500 individuals in St. Louis County each year who participate in services at 35 provider agencies, including 6 sheltered workshops. Our history is intertwined with sheltered workshops, and we will be forever grateful for the resources and the impact that they have had on creating opportunities for people with disabilities. As you will hear in a moment, they are one of many critical services that boards can fund. The voters in each county that has a developmental disability resource board, such as the one I represent, approved the use of property tax dollars for the creation and funding of services for people with disabilities in their community. They recognized the gap in services and were supportive of taxes that would improve people's lives. Currently, boards are doing just as the voters asked. We have the latitude required to create, fund, and oversee services that meet the needs of our local communities. The availability of resources, such as the types of services or level of funding, varies greatly from county to county. But we are all committed to investing whatever resources we have and working on alongside the people we serve to identify current needs and do our very best to get those needs met. Needs have changed since the 60s, and services have as well, thanks to individuals and their families who have successfully advocated for expanded services. Requiring that board-approved expenditures shall include funds for the operations and maintenance of sheltered workshops does not acknowledge the progress we have made as a society in understanding the value of people of all abilities as contributing members of our community. Nor does it take into consideration the variety of services, many created at the request of families, that now support individual choice and ensure the opportunity for people with disabilities to lead productive lives. Sheltered employment currently fills an important need for those who choose that option. Almost every county already funds at least one workshop, if there is one available. In the coming year, approximately 830 people will be employed at one of the 6 sheltered workshops funded by PLB in St. Louis County. These services are in steady demand. However, students with disabilities are required to be fully informed of all of their employment options as they transition out of school, and they may choose to work in inclusive settings, such as checkers at their local grocery store or patient transporters at the hospital, and many other essential roles. Approximately 850 people in St. Louis County will choose alternative employment options that are also funded by PLB. Funding for those inclusive services is vitally important too. Boards may also fund a variety of other services that have shown to make a positive difference in people's lives, such as services that provide adaptive equipment, assistive technology, and staff support so that they can live more independently, engage in their communities, and build meaningful connections to minimize isolation. Funding for those services is also vitally important. All services are essential to those who receive them. Therefore, we believe they are all worthy of equal funding consideration. In addition to believing the proposed language may restrict boards such as ours from identifying funding the services that best serve our local communities, we also believe the proposed language will limit the ability of boards to complete their due diligence. As I stated before, resources vary greatly from county to county, so each county must be allowed to decide how best to use those resources to be fully accountable. We are grateful to the support of our communities and are committed to demonstrating that tax dollars are accomplishing truly great things. Additional certifications and requirements, as specified in the proposed language, are in place so that we can fund with confidence the most effective, stable, and efficient services that respect the needs of people with disabilities, services that are tailored to their unique needs and preferences, and that evolve along with advancements in the field. To determine one type of service is exempt from the requirements that are in place for all funded agencies, such as is being proposed, would undermine our ability to provide local oversight in the manner that best fits our communities and our resources. In summary, those of us who have the privilege and responsibility of determining the best use of tax dollars ask that 205.971 not be amended so that we can maintain the flexibility to ensure quality services, to evolve with the needs of our communities, and to be fully accountable to taxpayers. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Mary Sullivan Thomas. I'm the Executive Director of Community Opportunities, the County Board for People with Developmental Disabilities in Lincoln County, Missouri. We provide direct services to people with developmental disabilities, and we fund services. We've been accredited by CARF since 1992, and we're proud to have received the highest level of accreditation during each review. We hold the organizations we fund with local tax dollars to the same high standards. The amendment suggested in House Bill 1564 to the statute 205.971 removes the ability of county boards for people with developmental disabilities to hold those they fund accountable to taxpayers. This is not in anyone's best interest. In order to be good stewards of public funds, county boards need to continue to have the ability to have policies in place that provide a level of oversight for the expenditure of local tax dollars. The amendment states that county boards cannot require certification or additional requirements beyond that required by DESE. I would offer that DESE does support and actually requires accreditation. Under DESE, vocational rehabilitation requires accreditation for any organization they do business with. Local schools under DESE are required to be accredited. Requiring accreditation is in keeping with other DESE standards. Would you want your loved ones to go to a hospital that wasn't accredited or to a university that wasn't accredited? I think not. People with developmental disabilities who participate in sheltered employment services deserve the same quality services and supports as other individuals who receive services from DESE-funded organizations. The amendment eliminates the authority of county boards to make local decisions to address local needs and concerns. County boards for people with developmental disabilities have a long history of developing and supporting quality services in their communities based on the needs of their local community. Taking away a board's ability to fund services based on local need is contrary to the original intent of the legislation and the voters. County boards who allocate funds to provide services to people with developmental disabilities need to be able to set policy to assure taxpayers that tax dollars are spent properly. We need to be able to be good stewards of public funds and hold those we fund accountable. We need to continue to uphold not only our fiduciary responsibilities, but the responsibility to fund quality services with assurance of health and safety for all participants.
Any questions from the committee? Seeing none. Next in opposition.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I'm Nancy Pennington. I'm the Executive Director for MACDDS. That's the Missouri Association of County Developmental Disabilities Services, the state association for the SB40 Developmental Disability Boards. I just want to reinforce what the previous two speakers had said on behalf of all of our members. We have currently in the state of Missouri 88 county SB40 boards, plus the city of St. Louis, 64 of which are part of MACDDS. The majority of those county boards do fund sheltered workshops, and the few that don't have one in their county, and the majority of those help pay to send people to other counties. So we are completely supportive of sheltered workshops and what they do. But we're concerned again about the ability to ensure accountability for those organizations as we do the funding. That's really the key point. We want the local boards to be able to have control. If you didn't know, county SB40 boards are appointed by the county commissioner or their equivalent, in some cases a board of aldermen. There's a 9-member county board. 3 of those are required to either have a disability or be related within the 3rd degree to people with developmental disabilities. So these are people right in the community that know what's best for their community that are making those decisions. And they really want to ensure accountability, and we're just concerned that this section of this particular bill might limit that ability. So I will stop there because I think you've heard the previous two say it very well. But thank you for your time.
Any questions from the committee? Seeing none. Next in opposition. Seeing none. Do we have anybody for informational purposes only?
Hello, I'm Alan Frederick. I am from Perryville, Missouri. And if you have trouble with my speech, please let me know, and Miss Lee will be happy to help us. I am currently employed thanks to Ticket to Work. I work at Hope Therapy Riding Center, where we do therapeutic horse riding, and I do the client assessments there, and 60 of our clients are funded by HB40 funds. So I would just like to make the statement that I want HB40 boards to allow people with disabilities to have the most choice they can have to live the life they want to live, whether it be shelter, workshops, or supported employment, whatever. Just let us have the choice to do what we want to do, and also make sure our safety to be number one, no matter what kind of accreditation needs to be offered. We need to be safe in our safest environment. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that testimony. Are there any questions for the witness? Senator Carter.
First, thank you so much for coming and testifying, and also thank you for your service to your community. Did I remember right that you serve on as a secretary?
Of the Missouri Developmental Disability Council.
Okay, so you're not the secretary of the SB40 board at your local level, but you
No.
are you are the secretary of the Missouri Disability Association. Good.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your testimony.
Thank you for having me.
Are there any other questions from the committee? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else for informational purposes only? Seeing none. Tomorrow, we will be execing on House Bill 1564. If you have any questions for Representative Kelley, please ask. She's still in the room. Just a second. Oh, excuse me, Senator Crawford.
I had a couple of the pieces that you wanted to put in a Senate committee sub. I had issues with. One was the ambulance thing, which we never did get resolved. That was Senator Fitzwater's bill that he wanted to allow counties and cities to vote on the ambulance districts as part of Wayfair. And I did not want them to be able to do that until the city or county voted for Wayfair itself, because I thought it would put them in a worse position, and they really were not interested in that compromise, so I'm not interested in moving forward at all with
Okay.
that. And there was another amendment, I believe it was Representative Hudson's, that was in that sub that you sent out, and that has not had a hearing here that I'm aware of, and it got put on one of my bills in the House, and he's not come to me and even explained it to me, so it just kind of got flopped on there. So I'm not, unless somebody can explain to me what that is, those two things that you had sent out in that sub, I would not be in favor of.
Okay.
Does this bill include the sub that was, as it was printed today?
Yes.
Okay, so I should have, it should be the bill in its
Yeah.
entirety. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Okay, your Committee on Local Government and Elections adjourns.
Sorry, I was laying out my own committee that I had.
That's what we heard.
We wanted to vote on stuff there too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.